than enough, so that you can always go down and there's always a car out there for your use.
Is monetary economics at the root of the problem, and can it be fixed? If it can't be fixed, why not?
Frankly, within this system, in order to survive, you have to submit to the methods of this system. A lawyer is not out there to help you always. There's money in it for the law firm. In other words, the motivation is not what you would call based on human concern. It's based on the bottom line. The motivation in most industries, the bottom line is profit, not the betterment of humanity. And they would feel, well, that is a byproduct of this system. I don't believe that. It's that the rules of the game were invented so many years ago, they no longer fit the economic circumstances of the times. What we would like to do is update our system so that it fits the new innovative technologies, invite them in, shorten the workday, increase the availability of goods and services to all people throughout the world without any nation taking advantage of any other nation's resource.
What does the Venus Project represent?
One world working in one direction, the intelligent management of resources and upgrading the standard of living for all the world's people, with profits to none and service to everyone.
And what about scarcity? Can that be eliminated?
Do we have enough resources to satisfy the growing population in the world? Yes. Today we have more than enough. And it's incontestably proven that we have more than enough. It's just that the way we manage our resources are wasteful. We change the design of automobiles every year so that people will buy new cars. We raise the hemline on clothing. We change the spring fashion, the fall fashion, the winter fashion, so you will buy things and constantly be involved in purchasing things. In the future, we will design cars to last 10 years or more, so you don't have to service them. So we will engineer, innovate, and make newer things designed not to wear out and break down.
What about human nature?
I think that environment shapes values and behavior. Genetics, to a certain extent, set the propensity, but they do not give us a value system. Genetics is not responsible for greed, bigotry, racism, prejudice. All that is learned. So if you don't alter the condition that generates that, I don't see a solution. What the Venus Project advocates is the redesign of our culture so that those conditions no longer exist.
Who makes the decisions?
Instead of formulating a decision as we do today, we will arrive at them. That is, a method similar to that used in engineering, where you put something to test in order to find out or evaluate a particular situation. Decision-making then in the future will be based upon actual studies on human need, protecting the environment, and manufacturing goods and services with clean technology.
Who determines who gets what?
You do. You go to the Access Center, look around, and if there are things that you would like to have, you put in a request for them. That's simple.
You're talking about, if I read you correctly, you're talking about no money, no credit, no borrowing, no debt, no bartering. Where's the incentive?
No war, no territorial disputes, crime reduction by about 90%, the end of fear of economic deprivation or losing your home or illnesses which you cannot afford economically to take care of. All that comes to an end. If that isn't a good enough incentive, I don't know what is. A lot of people are brought up to believe that money is the driving force that generates incentive. It also generates incentive for corruption, embezzlement, taking care of your brother-in-law, unfair practices, racial discrimination. So I'm saying that, yes, money does produce incentive, but it also produces all the other factors, which are generally left out. I would say the people we remember in history are not the people that made a buck or made lots of money. They are people that have given their lives to benefit the lives of other people without financial gain. Mother Teresa, Christ, Gandhi, Martin Luther King didn't march in the South because there's $2,000 deposited in his account. Did it because this is what he believed. And I would say all the great achievements throughout history did not come from monetary systems. It came because people believed in what they're doing. Advocating a public library doesn't bring money to anybody, but it brings education to everybody that couldn't afford books. So I'm saying the real people that we admire are the people that we build statues to, who did public works not because of monetary incentive. I'm afraid of people that do things for money. I don't feel secure about it.
Would the election of people with higher moral content solve the problem?
No, because even if you succeeded in electing people of unquestionable moral character, if we ran out of resources, there'd be lying, cheating, stealing, and artificialities. It isn't moral character that we need. It's the intelligent management of the Earth's resources. The real future depends on our ability to solve scarcity problems, overcome those problems through our own creative ingenuity.
So how do you envision a transition into this type of system?
If you keep bringing in machines and replacing human beings, we call it downsizing today, the majority of people in America and throughout the world will not have the purchasing power to buy goods or services. This will bring an end to the old monetary system. I would see economic collapse as the only system that will bring people around to say that, gee, I see that the people I've elected into political office are not competent enough to get us out of this problem, and they'll be looking for other possible alternatives. This is when the Venus Project comes in. The more people know about it, the more likely that it may be installed. The Venus Project does not say this is what the future will be. All it says is this is what the future can be if we accept the postulates and proposals of the Venus Project. What we need are seminars on problem solving, how to accomplish each successive phase of human development. And that is what the Venus Project has to offer. The methodology of how to achieve a higher standard of living for all the world's people without the creation of uniformity or standardization or subservience to an elite form that manages government. We have no elitism. We have no government. We have no police, no prisons, no armies. There's no need for it in a resource-based economy.
What problems stand in the way of us implementing this type of transition?
Traditions, habits, indoctrination, propaganda. We are all propagandized to accept our system as the best system. We are all given stories about the culture, our cultural history, and which has left out the detrimental aspects. All societies tend to support the dominant values of that society. There is no such thing as an objective society. If there were, you couldn't have German scientists making weapons of destruction, American scientists, British scientists, Dutch scientists, French scientists working in serving their government. Real science has no allegiance to government. It only has allegiance to methodology. We're using our finest minds on weapons of destruction and methods of maintaining control and dominance. So this is not a loyalty to the Fresco system or loyalty to the Venus Project. I'd be against that. You have loyalty to the earth and all the people that live on it.